It's brimful of emotion for so many reasons this evening. Late worry about the fitness of skipper Ryan Jones, but as we see, he starts in the middle of the Welsh back row. The addition of hooker Hugh Bennett means it's an all-Ospreys front row and an all-Blues, all-new second row with Davis and Daniel Jones. Change at scrum half. Richie Rees is about to experience the biggest night of his young life, his first start. Happy 33rd birthday, Shane, just a try away from his 50th for Wales. France have recently hit upon the rather novel tactical plan of picking the same bunch of players whenever they can. The only changes this evening are forced by injuries. Julien Pierre makes his first championship start. Julien Bonner clocks up cap number 50. The backs, Julien Malzieu comes in for the stricken Vincent Clerc. Parra and Tranduc get more time to forge their growing relationship. Waiting in the red seats, Ken Owens and Rhys Gill, who've never played for Wales, and Mike Phillips, who's not played for them for a year. We know all about Shabal and Michalak in the blue seats, less about winger Mark Andrew. South African Jonathan Kaplan is in charge, assisted by Ireland's Alan Lewis and Steve McDowell. Friday night on St Mary's Street across the road is rarely anything less than lively, and it is all set up for a compelling couple of hours. Good evening, Jonathan.
Evening. It's all about Wales have to start well.
First take of the day belongs to Julien Malzieu, back for his first start since he scored a try against England a year ago. And what Wales will want to do most of all is guard against that start, because they've had such slow ones in the last three big tests, really, against Australia and against England, and we all know about Scotland.
Yes, they've given their opposition a lead. I don't know, I think he's taken a bump to the shoulder. Looks like a stinger, he's coming back into action. But Wales have got to keep the defensive shape. Speed off the line defensively to counter the French power. Bonner is in, the line-out creaked against the Irish. He is a line-out specialist.
Muscular start from the Welsh pack. Pack driven this evening by Martin Williams. Took his fair share of criticism for that performance against Scotland. So much for him to prove this evening. And what about that man, Richie Rees?
Entry.
But the discipline that we talked about that had to be right, letting Wales down there, and the penalty and the opportunity to clear their lines for the first time will belong to the French.
Yeah, I think he penalised Martin Williams there, coming in from the side. It's a shame, because good attacking opportunity for Wales. I think they want to play the territorial game as well, Nick. They are so powerful, the catch and drive, the strong scrum front five gives Hara Donaghy a great platform to launch into the midfield, and that's why Bastareaud and Jarzon have been scoring tries. There's no backline there to defend against them.
Wales had a run around under the stadium lights yesterday evening. They were here at exactly 8 o'clock to replicate kickoff time. Training all week has been later to make sure they're right up for this, and here's our first look at that man, Yannick Jauzion, one of France's 3 tries against Ireland. And we're inclined to pay so much attention to the big beast Bastareaud. Let's not forget the beauty either in Jauzion. He's a real threat, as is this man, Clément Poitrenaud. And France threatening for the first time.
Right.
This is the skipper, Thierry Dusautoir. Morgan Parra to Tranduc, the fly half. That was interesting from Tranduc, but the French getting away with it. Picked up by William Servat, the hooker. Parra, who's been in such good form for Clermont-Auvergne this season. But the French have conceded a metre, and more than that, they've conceded possession. Turnover for the Welsh. Rees to Stephen Jones, who has been a model of consistency. Back to Poitrenaud. He will kick the ball, as is the modern trend, but he'll run as much as anyone as well, as will this man, Leeburn. Try approaching the hour against Scotland, hinted at those fabulous things to come.
On me.
Bradley Davis goes to ground, his mother dying suddenly last Friday after a short illness. Goodness knows what's going through his mind at the moment.
Brave young man.
This is Malzieu. who is a tall young man, all 6'4" of him
And roll, yeah,
on the right wing.
Hold there.
Some fairly muscular sparring going on at the moment, and now then Bastareaud for the first time. Poitrenaud, he has Palisson outside. Shane Williams safely able to touch down for the dropout 22, but Alexis Palisson, the 22-year-old, threatening for the first time.
There we are. James Hook comes rushing in, got to take man and ball. You know, if he comes in there, he's got to take man and ball. Simple as. He can't come rushing in on the outside centre with a two-man overlap.
It's going to be one of the outstanding confrontations this evening between Bastareaud and James Hook, and how much can Jamie Roberts help out as well, with Josian challenging. Here's Ryan Jones. Didn't train yesterday evening on that captain's run that I was talking about because of that tight calf, and there were smoke and mirrors leading up to kick-off about whether he would play, but he is there. It has to be a risk.
Leave him!
But it was a risk Wales and Jones felt were taking, as Poitrenaud goes airborne. Comes back on the Welsh side, Martin Williams sweeping things up. Here's Halfpenny, runs into the French mountain that is Mathieu Bastareaud, 6 foot and 17.5 stones. He's bigger than Sebastian Chabal on the bench. Now then, Stephen Jones, how flat was that to Davis? Rees, Jones, Shane Williams popping up, as is Byrne adding his muscularity.
Great angle by Byrne, also Daniel Jones.
Roll!
This is good stuff from Wales, good continuity, confident with the ball in hand. They were, well, a shambles really for the first half an hour against Scotland, but this is much better.
They have to earn the right to go wide first by just going up the middle, get over that gain line.
Have to suck the defenders into the middle of the field first. Oh, that's the first big mistake, and it'll lead to the first try for Alexis Palisson, and it has been gift-wrapped for the French.
Well, what can you say? He was in the line. James Hook threw the pass. You could see it from where we were sitting, right in front of us. He just ran in. He could not throw that pass. He could see the ball was going to be snapped up by Palisson.
Well, it's precisely what we were talking about. The decision had to be right,
Just
and this
watch.
one wasn't.
He's looking. That is a poor pass by James Hook. Here we are. Conversion, 7-0. He has a tendency to do that mix-up. There's a couple of times he's thrown that pass. There we are. What an easy run in. There you go. Thank you very much for that gift.
Morgan Parra added the extras with the conversion. And having been talking about the bright start Wales made, we'll just look at the score now.
Straight at you, straight at you.
It is an aspect of James Hook's game that happens too often.
It's deflated the stadium a little bit. So good line out, a good drive down the middle into the heart of the event. Just watch it. Just watch what he is, the number 11. He's waiting in the line. You know, you must have seen him.
Wales have got to regroup. Rees, driven forward by Bradley Davis, just his 8th cap today. Very inexperienced second row partnership in terms of test match level, but they know each other playing for the Blues. But here goes Bastareaud. Wales are making it easy for the French at the moment.
Okay.
Oof. It's very clever play here by Bastareaud. He read the situation, should have popped it on his shoulder. Palisson was there, went and gave it too late, a little bit selfish. pass through.
21-year-old Parisian, and there's the try scorer. Clearly none the worse for his painful introduction to the Six Nations a fortnight ago, when Jerry Flannery tried to use him as a ball.
Yeah.
He's just given Wales a kick up the backside.
Touch. Both touch. Touch. Second. Crouch. Seek. Touch. Pause. Go.
First penalty at the scrum.
Off you go.
Goes against Wales for collapsing.
There you go. Not to your side. Other side.
An early black mark against the front row.
Lost the hit and folded.
This will be a big test now for Wales. First real attack from the French. Fine kick.
This is the scrum going down. Looked as if Paul James on the loose head side was the one who was picked out by our referee Jonathan Kaplan. James, who had a right old battle with Ewan Murray 2 weeks ago. It'll be similar against Nicolas Maz today. Line out for the French. Taken high above his head by Julien Pierre. Servat breaks away.
Rolls two. Parrot
To Francois Tran-Duc, with lots of French traffic offering themselves. Josian was the selection. Drop goal from Tran-Duc. Always missing.
That's a poor miss by Tran-Duc. There's a worry because, again, Wales created the France created the overlap on the short side. Good pressure by Martin Williams.
Play on.
It's Francois Tran-Duc, man of the match against Ireland. Could have been many, though, against Ireland. They all played very well. French invited to start from deep. Here is the fly half with Vietnamese antecedents. It's a very high-hanging ball, but Shane Williams cottoned onto it. Ball seemingly, though, came off a Welsh hand, so the French will have the scrum.
I think Wales have got to try and get Jamie Roberts into the game. You've got to make inroads to this defence. It's pointless, as I've said, going wide early. Very difficult to get outside of the French defence.
Look at the Welsh defence. They're obviously worried about the midfield threat from France. And if we highlight this, look at the numbers that the Welsh are committing around the breakdown. It's ridiculous. It puts a lot of pressure on Hook out defending the French midfield. And when he steps in like that and he misses a tackle, as Jiffy said, it's either do or die. Wales are very lucky in this situation not to concede a try. Hook hasn't had the best start to the game, but he's been put under pressure due to the fact that all of the forwards are congregating around the breakdown.
Yeah, it is. I'm not sure. Should he? It's very difficult for Hook. He's got to ease the link in there. Does he go up and hold and then push?
Touch. Pause. Go.
This time, the penalty at the scrum goes to Wales.
Outside on. 3.
William Servat having a few words with Nicolas Maz.
And let's keep working straight, okay? Not in.
26th cap this evening for the Scarlet Stephen Jones. And this is the Osprey, Hugh Bennett, as Wales try and launch something from the French half. Taken well by the skipper, Jones. Stephen Jones. Jamie Roberts trying to do what he did so well last season, to puncture defences with those big barnstorming runs.
Counter-ruck is good.
Hints 2 weeks ago against Scotland that he was beginning to rediscover his best form. It's been a quiet season thus far for Jamie Roberts. Needs to burst into life this evening. Ryan Jones catapulted backwards, but it's still Welsh possession.
Play on.
Adam Jones getting away with the fumble. There's Stephen Jones, Byrne, Halfpenny outside. Byrne crawling towards the 22. Richie Rees to Davis. Stephen Jones tests Julien Bonner.
It's a good tackle. Very good tackle by Bonner. Wrapped him up. There's not much option for Stephen Jones at 10. Every time he looks up, defensive numbers are greater than the attacking numbers.
Good work there. Yeah, good work.
It's actually ripped out by James Hook. Execution is poor by Wales at the moment. Far too many errors. They have no continuity. Just hand the ball over to the French, and then they clear their line.
Touch, pause, go.
This is interesting. They've got Palisson
All there, stay bound.
with Para left foot. There we are.
There
Good
we
play.
go. Here's another big left boot. Belongs to Lee Byrne. Oh dear. Aaron Ordike and Para
I think.
away with a little bit of a misunderstanding.
10 ahead of the kicker. Moving forward.
Yeah, I think yours was the shout then.
10
That's it.
ahead of the kicker, moving forward. Your choice. This one.
Stephen Jones offside, and of course they will go back deep into the Welsh half, into the 22, where they will have a great attack in position.
Some little mistakes don't cost you much.
No, well,
Some do, and that has cost Wales, what,
Yeah.
50 metres?
yeah, the option was whether to have a penalty where the ball landed, or a scrum where it was kicked. The clear advantage, he's such a big kicker, Lee Byrne, to take it back where he kicked it from. And another mistake now puts him under pressure.
Wake up. Come out. Hookers. Two.
Jonathan Kaplan's patience with the front rows and with the hookers in particular has run out.
The call is slowed down. Don't beat my call. Both teams. Okay, yep. My call. Both.
It's just telling the two front rows to wait for his call to engage, not to go in too quickly, not to be too eager for the fight.
Maybe you should speak a bit quicker.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Go. Right there, flank. Shoulder.
Fabulous opportunity for the French with Aaron Ordike guiding off the back. He was half snared by Rees, but Para has his hands on the ball. Bonner drives over the top to make sure that it comes back on his mate's side.
It's great play.
Servat. Lots of red shirts around him, but Servat still has his mitts on the ball.
I'm very impressed by the two French props. Work rate is phenomenal.
It's Domingo and Mazza having fine championships so far, and the same could be said for Imanol Aaron Ordike, but on that occasion spills the ball forward.
Yeah, good tackle by Jamie Roberts. He's offside. Dissautoir.
Hook. Interesting ball, and we're going to come back for that. Let's go down to the touchline and have our first word with Graham Thomas this evening. What do you have to add, Graham?
There's a bit of activity going on the Welsh bench, Nick. Luke Charteris, the second row, has been warming up for the last couple of minutes. Some discussion going on the bench. Perhaps one of the second rows is injured, Bradley Davis or Daniel Jones, or maybe that's part of the reshuffle plan if Ryan Jones hasn't lasted the length of this first half and Luke Charteris comes on, and perhaps there is a reshuffle in that back five.
The concern initially for Ryan Jones was about the calf. It's now more about the head. He took a nasty blow there, leading the side for the 22nd time this evening, the same as Colin Jarvis down with us on the touchline, and Rob Howley up in the coach's box. Still a few away from Ian Evans' Welsh record of 28. This is where we think he hurt his noggin, Jonathan. Let's see if we can...
Let's have a look. Yes.
Oh dear. Josion.
Knee to the head. Won't worry as much about his calf, no?
There's Rob Howley to the right, who led Wales with such distinction about a decade ago now. Big French scrum. Picked up by Jones, who's cleared his head.
Yeah.
Roll 7!
Scrum in reverse probably has that effect.
Where's your weight?
Byrne into space. Poitrenaud with an age, though, to size up where he wants this kick to go.
That's a better kick by Wales and Lee Byrne. The chase was on by Haran Ordaki. He had to put it low. The kicking game hasn't been great so far. They found the full back or the winger on the full, which gives them an advantage to come run the ball back. Very interesting where Poitrenaud defends. There's no one under the posts.
French have the ball. Tranduk to Bastareaud. Is this the first big run of the evening from him? He's still going.
7!
The penalty now, I think.
7, get up on your feet, release,
Against
and then
the
go back in.
Welsh number 7, Martin Williams.
It's the second time he's been penalised. Not on his... Didn't stay on his feet. Decision for Para. Yep, he'll go for it.
There's Martin Williams talking up his half-century of championship caps this evening, and he knows that his place is under threat. Jonathan, Sam Warburton, who Graham was talking about a little bit earlier, is on the bench and itching to take that shirt off him, but he's nothing if not a fighter, Martin Williams.
He's been a great player for Wales, but Warburton is there. He's more of a destructive player. Gatland commented earlier on in the season that maybe that's the way the game's going now.
There's a man who's smoothly occupied the gap left by Julien Dupuis' suspension and Jean-Baptiste Elissalde's injury. He's been one of the French finds in recent months. Morgan Parra, and this for a 10-point lead with a quarter of the match gone.
Lovely kick.
It's roundhouse, round the corner, straight between the posts, and Marc Livremont not smiling yet, but it's been a more than satisfactory start for the French. One or two Gallic whispers around here last night that if it was to be their Grand Slam year, this may well be the toughest of the 3 hurdles remaining. They've got Italy and then England at home after this.
2 home games, they would start as strong favourites. But it's a nice cushion really for the French. They haven't really created much or threatened, but 10 points in front, 20 minutes gone. And it's gone a little bit quiet in the Millennium Stadium.
So we're just switching on. Wales started well, and then threw all that good work away when they threw the ball straight to the winger Alexis Palasson, who ran in for the first try of the match. Bennett loose.
And then he is. Bonnet is a master of the line out. They creaked a little bit against the Irish. Now that he's in.
Stephen Jones. This is Jamie Roberts back inside to Jones, who is on his way. Hook running onto it. Bouncing ball didn't favour the Welshman.
That's great play. Malzio just read it extremely well. Covered over from the right wing. Just watch. There we are, it's a dummy runner. The winger, Palasson, doesn't know where he's going really. Poitrenaud's defending last man out. Should he have kicked it? In hindsight, no. Kept the ball in hand.
It's got the crowd going again though, and Wales needed that.
Wait here.
Byrne
Wait.
with that howitzer clearance. What a kick from Lee Byrne.
Great kick.
50 metres and immediately puts the pressure back on France. Oh, how Wales missed him during the autumn internationals.
What a thump this is. Great kick.
And it was measured to perfection as well, because he was just half a step inside his 22, which meant the ball could go directly into touch, and it went half a step into touch. Classic clearing kicking from the Welsh fullback Lee Byrne. There's William Servat. Not too many weak links during the championship so far for the French, but the line out has been a little bit dodgy.
Out 7.
Nothing wrong with that one. They've won all 3 so far. Para with the clearing box kick. And this line out will belong to the Welsh.
New ball. New ball.
I think the intended recipient was Bradley Davis, but it sailed clean over his head. And it needed to be tidied up by Daniel Jones, his Blues teammate. 32-year-old savouring his first Six Nations start this evening. Been around for a while, though, as has this man, Martin Williams.
Well done, good reload, that's fine.
Stephen Jones, Jamie Roberts, British and Irish Lion last summer.
Look again, look at the defensive line. Very, very strong. Now if they go quick.
Rees to Jones. Tries to bamboozle the defence by stepping inside it, but it's still there and persistent. It's suffocating the blitz defence, rushing up quickly to cut down any space. All the time has gone by the time the ball comes to you.
The speed of the French defensive line is very, very quick. That's another poor kick.
Josian, Bastareaud.
Still on his feet, Bastareaud, the 2 big hits.
Shrugged off the challenge of Jamie Roberts. Nicolas Maz on the charge, up to the 10-metre line. It's loose, and it was loose because it came off a Welsh hand. And the French will have the scrum on that 10-metre line.
There we are. Run out of patience. Para is there. Just cleared up very, very easy. If we run this on now, okay, just watch it. We see defence is so good and so well organised. As we go around, we run it wide. Now stop it there. Just watch the block that happens in this area here, okay, to create the space. Run it on. There's Lee Byrne, thank you very much. Just steps in the way of Bastareaud. The gap opens up.
In the meantime, the change that we foretold has happened. Daniel Jones has been forced to leave prematurely. Sad end to his 8th cap, and he's been replaced by Luke Charteris, Cornish-born Newport Gwent Dragon, who wins his 20th cap. Wales certainly won't lose out on the bulk stakes. 6'9", 19 stones. And they say that they don't build them big in Wales at the moment.
Well, you had a big game for the Newport Gwent Dragons against Ulster last Friday. Brings that form into this game and go well.
Straight swap. He slips into the second row. Wales have got some defending to do for the time being, though. That is Josian, who was well tackled by Stephen Jones. Wales sense that they might have won that ball back, and in their haste to win it back, bodies were diving over the ball, and the French have a penalty And you saw Dusatois say, we'll go for another 3 points, thank you.
Yeah. How powerful was that French scrum, though? Yeah, great tackle. Stephen Jones. Again, the collision, they win the collision. I think he's on his feet. Watch how powerful this going. They turn the scrum, okay, just watch it. They head up on the right-hand side, takes the back row, Welsh back row away, you see, and there we are. Powerful scrum. So just moves the Welsh back row away from where they're running the ball, which gives the French back row an advantage.
The booing is a reaction to the replay that everyone here on the big screen saw. They weren't at all happy that Richie Rees was penalised. It will not worry Morgan Parra, and it doesn't worry the big horde of travelling French folk who have another 3 points to shout about. And it's looking ominous for Wales. They are the comeback kings. We know all about what happened a fortnight ago. I suspect, though, the French won't be so forgiving if they build a big lead, and they're on the way to building that already. 13-0.
It was a great game, but I still feel, you know, the Scottish team lost it rather than Wales winning it. So I can't see France doing the same.
This is Shane Williams. Magic from him against Scotland. Beginning to sense that Wales need it again now. Jones to Hook. One or two elegant moments of his own in this championship, notably the try against England. This is Roberts.
That's a
much
turnover.
more direct.
I thought they'd turned it
no,
over.
still back on the red side just. Rees to the new man Charteris. Pretty much ever present since his Six Nations debut against Scotland last season. Rees, first start for him in the number 9 shirt this evening. But it is suffocating, isn't it?
If this comes to the left side, they have an overlap. Oh, he's gone the wrong way. That's very poor play by Parra. The turnover, he's got to put it through the hands. If he comes left, you had Bastareaud, Zhao Zhuan and Palisson against the Welsh forwards. That is a clear opportunity missed.
Still running the game, Parra, still only 21. The French are sure he is the future. Perhaps along with Tranduc. Jones into space. Poitrenaud runs to fill it. Takes the ball so well. He rediscovered his mojo of late, Clement Poitrenaud. And he's back there to act as scrum half. This is Tranduc being hunted down by Davis. We'll be going back to the touchline in a moment for an update from Graham Thomas.
Wait at 18.
Tranduc decides to take the kick himself rather than use Julien Malzieu. Malzieu instead hairs off after the ball and hairs off after Shane Williams. And there goes Halfpenny. Jones. Hook.
Hold there.
That wasn't great from Poitrenaud. By some distance, the worst kick of the match, and it's knocked on, sadly, for Wales by Ryan Jones. And that French mistake not capitalised on by Wales. Graham on the touchline.
Yeah, just an update, Nick, on that injury, Daniel Jones. It was a rib injury that's ended his game. Shame for him, because his opportunities have been few and far between.
Yes. First Six Nations start for him this evening. A decade after his debut against Samoa, and a real opportunity as well this season. Alun Wyn Jones struggling with his elbow injury. First of a trio of fabulous matches here on the BBC on the middle weekend of the RBS Six Nations. Italy against Scotland tomorrow on BBC One, followed by England against Ireland from Twickenham. BBC One and the BBC HD channel. You can follow it all in high definition as you munch your sarnies.
Well, they're not... it's a quick tap.
Aaron Ordeke.
Great play.
Bonaire.
Great play by the French back row there. I think it's turned over there.
Well, it's anyone's ball. It is Welsh ball. Rees.
Oh, well played.
Oh. Spills off the knees of the diminutive Para, who rediscovered his balance. He's having an interesting couple of minutes though, young Morgan Para.
He is. I think Richard Rees is getting under his skin a little bit.
Into the final 10 minutes. Wales 0, France 13. Para with the kicks, Palason with the early try.
You feel they need to build something. The first thing is the line out. They've shortened the line out. 2 back row forwards in the back line. Let's see what they do.
I think this might go to Charteris. It doesn't. He was a decoy. He went instead to Davis, and that's great stuff from Wales. Williams on the charge.
Trying to get him on a one-on-one. Who's there again? Nicholas Mass. His work rate is phenomenal. Just watch, great play. Target Para and Mass. He skins Para. Who's there? The prop. Work rate is absolutely tremendous.
This time the line-out belongs to the French, and Toulouse's Williams Servat.
Try and steal this line out. Safe as houses, front man, no danger, clear your lines.
That man onside.
Aaron Ordeke was the target. Marked his 30th birthday last time out against Wales with a gigantic performance, but the French dallying with the ball, and they've paid the price. Wales will have the scrum and a little bit to think about for Aaron Ordeke.
I think he's carrying an injury there. Let's see it. Not sure what's going on here.
Still remember his debut here 8 years ago as if it was yesterday. Time flies.
Let's go, let's go.
Now then, just watch the French. When they're under pressure, will they get the drive on to make it difficult for Richie Rees?
Crouch. Sick. Touch.
Oh, free kick to Wales. On that occasion, the scrum worked in their favour.
Well, they'll go scrum again. Too slow.
Thomas Domingo in the centre of the shot there. Man who's such a central part of this French scrum.
Not square. Okay.
And that's the situation as Wales see it, or at least the situation as our camera hoisted above the roof sees it.
I feel they need something now. Haven't really created anything, but a momentum. Get something just before half-time. Oh, scrum gone down. There he is, getting under the skin again.
Wales have escaped, having lost the ball out of that scrum.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Go.
Very, very powerful scrum.
3. No bounds. 3.
So much of this French side is beginning to come together. 18 months out from the World Cup, and the scrum is part of it, so is the front row.
Pressure from the scrum. Give the penalty. Well, poor miss.
Doesn't find touch. Wales invited to run it back. Lee Byrne will first put boot to ball. Takes on Nale. Make sure the ball comes back on the blue side. Here goes Servat.
And roll!
5 minutes to half-time.
Ahead, 7!
Josion to ground.
Not out!
Para barking out his orders. Making sure his troops are in the right position. Wasn't sure they were, which is why he took the responsibility of clearing the ball himself. Finds though Byrne.
Good step.
Lovely stuff from Byrne, up to halfway. Now the ball needs to come back quickly.
Great drive by Haranordaki.
Rees eventually has it. Jones, hook. Halfpenny is an option.
Your hand up!
Martin Williams driven backwards by Josion, who's quite a size himself.
Let it come!
Defensively, France are looking solid. Knock on. Yeah, this is from a turnover. Okay, just watch this from a turnover. Just look how narrow the Welsh are defending, and look at the numbers: 1, 2, 3, and they're all backs against the French, the Welsh boys. That should have gone to the left. That should have gone to the left. Para went to the wrong side. Opportunity from turnovers.
Another dominant French scrum leads to another French penalty. It's a fair old hoof for Para.
Well, they're under immense pressure. We haven't had any scrums on the Welsh try line yet. That would be a huge problem for the Welsh tight five.
Well, we were talking about that French defence and what a feature it's been against Ireland 2 weeks ago and so far in this match. And Dave Ellis on the left, a convivial Yorkshireman.
Castleford, I think he's from.
Yeah, he's the man responsible for building French walls these days, and he builds them big and strong and pretty impenetrable. And perhaps there's the other man who might consider himself to be the best defensive coach in the world, Sean Edwards. Both speak with northern accents, both pretty uncompromising. One will be significantly happier than the other at the moment, with
great line out.
A couple of minutes to go to half-time, taken in by Pierre.
This is a big minute and a half for Wales now. They come away with no points scored against them.
Tranduc. Still going, still go. Oh, and Bastareaud, you could see the idea. The French may well have thrown away a try there. If Bastareaud could have gathered it, which he should have done,
That's advantage over.
it would have been very difficult to stop. The advantage from the knock-on is over, so the French can try and rebuild again. This is Malzieu. Great tackle by Jonathan Thomas. Jackknifed him just before the 22. Here goes Bastareaud again. This is Nale. Skipper in this match a year ago. Lost the job over the summer to Thierry Dusautois.
The chance was there to clear, to put into touch. Will they get penalised for it now?
Para still going.
Release
This time
blue.
it's the Welsh defence which is up quickly, and they think they've got the ball back, which they have.
Yeah.
Little feather in the cap of the Welsh defence. Here's the Welsh Dragon Williams.
Nearly got...
Oh, he gave the ball away, and Tranduc, on his birthday, Shane Williams gives away the present. And a second interception try for the French makes it just about the perfect first half for them, and the worst first half for Wales. Now this would be a comeback.
Yes, just watch. Steps inside. Great tackle by Zhao Zhuan. Tries to keep the ball alive. There's the offload. Trinh-Duc reads it. Just a little bit quicker than thought. What a lovely feeling. No one anywhere near you. A 30-meter run in the score. Just watch. He flips the ball. He just reads the play a lot quicker than the Welsh players. It will now go in 20-0 down at half-time. Another poor 40 minutes by Wales.
He's got a Vietnamese grandfather. I'm not sure whether they get our pictures in Saigon or Hanoi, but if they do, they will be going bonkers. Unless, of course, they're Welsh. Well, well, well. Tara's been perfect so far. And the French will take a 20-point lead into half-time. And a vast travelling army have plenty to smile about. They lead at the break, Jonathan, by 20 points to 0.
Well, take it right up the middle, up the guts, as they say. Suck a few defenders in, which will then create the space out wide. But they need people to do that. Maybe one player who can do it with a little bit of a pace is young Sam Warburton. See when he comes on, he's a big ball carrier. They need ball carriers. You've got to put their hands up.
I think it's fair to say that there will be one or two Welsh players out there over the next 40 minutes playing for their reputations, perhaps playing for their careers.
Yep.
We will see. There may yet be drama to come. This RBS Six Nations Championship has provided stacks already this season. And if there is to be drama, you can be sure that Shane Williams will be part of it. Richie Rees has prodded away as best he can in that first 40 minutes. Perhaps worth pointing out that Mike Phillips remains primed on the bench. It'll be asking an awful lot of him to make a change to this game, having played so little, all a little bit scruffy, and the net results is a Welsh knock-on and a French scrum. What about Richie Rees so far?
You know, he's doing his best. He's terrier-like, skips past Bastareaud. Very difficult when you're under pressure, you know, with the defensive line intact. I think they've definitely improved areas.
There's Mike Phillips. Played 40 minutes in the last 4 months because of an ankle problem. Playing 40 minutes for the Ospreys against Connacht is one thing. Playing 40 minutes of Six Nations is an entirely different thing. But at what point will he be launched?
And great chase.
Oh, and the chase meant that Byrne was under pressure. I was thinking of the word to describe the French against Ireland and the word to describe them in that first 40 minutes, and it's not one that you often associate with them, but it's efficient. There's an efficiency to the French now, isn't there? And
very composed.
Yeah.
Very disciplined.
If they can add one more adjective, consistency, then they really will be some team. Luke Charteris tries to blast a large blue hole, but he's lost the ball away. Ripped off him by Lionel Nallet.
Hold on!
And again. There he is, Bonnet.
Parrott, Trinh-Duc, who's tried just before half-time, finished a perfect 40 minutes for the French. This is lovely. Aaron Ordeke. It's swift, but it's simple and it's effective, and it's working for the French at the moment.
The last thing you want them to do now is gain confidence.
I think they're lacking it.
On me, on me.
Parrott. Trinh-Duc, not his best. Halfpenny now chases his own Gary Owen. It's Halfpenny against the majestic Poitrenaud. And this is Bastareaud. Very, very nearly inside to his midfield mate, Josian.
They've got a chance to go wide now, Wales.
Here they go. Williams in midfield, kick through for James Hook. This might work. It might yet work for Hook. A little bit of Ryan Giggs from Hook. Best moment for Wales in the match so far. Oh, and Charteris just could not extend his 6'9" frame far enough. Wales blow the opportunity, and what an opportunity it was.
Yeah, clever play. Shane Williams and James Hook. There we are, just puts it past him, great pickup. He's thinking, where's the winger, where's the winger? Second row, he just can't get it. Lovely skill, puts it behind. Great pickup on the run. And then he's looking. Fortunately, it's the second row.
However, some hope for Wales.
Yep.
And they've messed that scrum up. Much more hope. Look at Hugh Bennett getting off his feet, making sure that everyone gets up with a medal pinned to their chest, and they've got to get the crowd engaged again.
Yeah, they have to. They have to do something for that to happen. That's the thing. A try would be fantastic.
First line of attack is the front row. James and Bennett and Adam Jones.
Watch this destructive scrum now. Disappointed they lost that.
Tried their best, but the Welsh hung on to deliver the ball for Stephen Jones, who stays on his feet extra couple of seconds. Rees, Halfpenny. Wales will have a penalty. Halfpenny couldn't gather an elusive ball, but they've got the opportunity of 3 points. Big decision here.
Oh, they take the
do?
points. Yeah, I would take them.
Well, they've been playing for 45.5 minutes and they haven't got any yet. And here's the perfect opportunity for the first three. Little steps, one at a time. And this Wales hope will be the first of them. And a significant moment for Stephen Jones as well, amidst all the chaos of this match. If he gets this over, he will become Wales' most prolific gatherer of championship points.
Yeah.
And he was never going to miss that.
And there is Neil Jenkins, just broken his record.
Penalty for Wales, number 10, Stephen Jones.
Neil Jenkins, 406 points. That man now 408 in the 5/6 nations.
It's Wales 3,
prolific.
France 20.
And their percentages are very similar as well. Stephen Jones has played a couple more games than that man, but they're up in the mid-80s in terms of percentages, which is world-class, and we know they are two world-class players.
Again, Pochettino has covered some ground. He's got everything on the full. Who's there again? Look at Haranordiki. It's unbelievable in the air, but taken off him by... Oh, great stop. On the floor, though, leave it go.
The combination of Haranordiki and Clement Poitrenaud as well, Jonathan, give them such an aerial advantage.
Yeah, and the kicking game, it's all about the chase. Very tall. Haranordiki is superb.
Some of his takes against Ireland a fortnight ago clear took your breath away.
And you just watch both. There, the ball's on the floor. Lee Byrne's got it. Pochettino plays it. He's on the floor. If the player's on the floor, he's out of the game.
Hugh Bennett. Wales line-outs. Taken in by Bradley Davis.
That's got to go. They can't drive that. Body's on the floor.
Rees to Jones. This is Roberts. Back to Jones. Shane Williams runs around Palisson, who got everything up and running for the French right at the start. Wales beginning to threaten more than they have in the match so far. Just beginning to get some of their punches away.
Yeah, more direct.
Richie Reese. Stephen Jones. Hook. Terrific footballer. There's a little bit of brilliance now from players like Hook. Taken on again by Stephen Jones.
Oh, great counter rucking by Nally. There's the ball. He got to drive. Adam Jones got to drive Servant off. Still got it.
Wales doing just enough. Dusatoir coming in with another of his pile driving tackles.
To Nally. Tremendous work rate.
People the whistle. Penalty to Wales. Here perhaps another step in the right direction.
You got to take the points. They're going to be difficult to break down. 3 points is there. Take them.
They're doing what you suggested. They are, in tactical terms, taking it up the guts, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they're not going to get on the outside. And as you know, the boys have shown, defensively, they're well organised and not committing to the ruck. So you've just got to take it up the middle because you're not going to get on the outside of them. And once you go up the middle, you suck defenders in, maybe then there will be an opportunity to go wide.
So here's Wales' new record championship point scorer, Stephen Jones. Pictures being beamed back to France at the moment, and there'll be plenty in Clermont-Auvergne who'll have fond memories of him and his time there. Less fond if this goes between the posts, which it has. Well, just the flickering of a wander around the Millennium Stadium. It's an awfully long way back, but it was against Scotland. But a 20-point lead has been cut to 14 in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Wales 6, France 20.
You're playing the game in the right areas as well, playing in the French half.
Ryan Jones did well, as did Jonathan Thomas. Martin Williams, back row combining to release Jamie Roberts. Needs the support. Still going. Such a strong man, Jamie Roberts. Charteris up to halfway. Dusatoir nearly snaffled up Reese. Driven on by
that's quick ball.
Bradley Davis, who's played so well on the most emotional of nights for him, but Stephen Jones is shunted backwards.
Yeah, off the ball tackle by 12. Zhao Zion.
A lot of penalties over here, taking the man without the ball. Man without the ball.
Just watch. I think he was on hook.
Not you. Not you.
Zhao Zion.
Man without the ball, a support player. No more, please.
The warning's significant, though, Jonathan, because it tells you that the Welsh are beginning to get on top here because the French are forced to give the penalties away.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's a dummy run. Hook is smashed by Zhao Zion. There we are. See him. 12. Great kick.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Replacement France number 16 Dimitri Zalazewski, replaces number 2 William Servat.
The French have responded to the little gathering storm by changing their hookers. Servat is off and Dimitri Zalazewski, the man from Paris, the Stade Francais hooker, is on. 44th cap for him.
If they score a try now, I think it'll get a bit noisy here.
Big line out for Bennett. Who will he aim for? He was looking for the skipper. It's gone loose. It might yet work for Wales. The French need to be alert in defence. Which way is this coming back? It's coming back on the blue side, and Parra clears off his left boot and into touch.
Still a good attacking position, but poor line out. And I think it's calling in studio.
Yeah, there's been a very good change in tactics from the Welsh team. They've gone up the guts of things. They've taken the ball to the French, been very aggressive. But unfortunately, as much ground as they're making and milking penalties, they just haven't got that option to then go wide afterwards.
Thank you, Colin. Let's see what they can do with this. They're still continuing to drive it up the middle to try and suck in defenders. Roberts was the latest. Here goes Jones. Hook. Oh, Williams. Stretched to keep the ball in play.
Yeah.
Let it come, Rudd! Away, Rudd!
Getting a loose pass.
Hold that 10!
I think you've got to have more runners offering themselves They're just going across the field. The defence is picking it up. French ball.
Well, mine goes back to the Ireland try that they scored against the French in Paris 2 weeks ago, their solitary try, and they had to work so hard for it. It was from one end to the other and from one side of the pitch to the other, but they really had to go through the phases, vary their attack, vary the point of the attack, and it's a tough thing to do.
Well, look at that French line out. Certainly improved from the Irish performance.
Zalewski has made a sound start in that department, gathered in by Aaron Ordeke. Williams, quickly followed by Malzieu. Not quite sure how much of Williams Malzieu got. I suspect if he'd have got a little bit more of him, it might have interested Jonathan Kaplan.
Yeah, a little bit, but I think he was going down. The problem, it's a good kick by Stephen Jones. There's the kick. Just watch. Oh, you can't say that's a high tackle because he's on his knees. He's not the tallest of guys, Shane Williams. So that have been
He's taller than you.
a bit severe. I don't think he is, actually.
We'll see. I think Malzieu was fine there. Another French change. They brought on Jean-Baptiste Poux to replace Thomas Domingo in the front row. Poux from Toulouse, experienced operator, been around for the best part of a decade, and he is on to steadier French ship that isn't listing, but choppier waters than it experienced in the first half. Shane Williams did very well again to rescue the ball back for Wales. Hook, little chip over, Halfpenny invited to show us his pace. Well taken by Parra. Poitrenaud, back to Parra.
Great play.
Let it come, Red!
Zalewski organising the next thrust,
And away here,
and it's
away.
delivered by Aaron Ordeke.
Just feeling the French taking a sting out of the game a little bit. Let's keep possession. Let's get out of our half. Not the greatest of kick. I didn't really understand that kick, to be honest. There we are, offside. I tell you what, will Halfpenny have a crack from you? Keep the scoreboard ticking over. Will he have a crack, Halfpenny? Or will they put the pressure on?
That's precisely what Ryan Jones was wondering. And
He's not going to kick from there, let me tell you. I tell you, he's never ever going to kick from there.
I think
They go for the corner with Lee Byrne.
I think for half a second, Lee Halfpenny thought, give it to me, and then he saw where Jonathan Kaplan actually intended the
I
kick
think
to be
they got
taken
confused
from.
where the scrum and the penalty was going to be taken. The penalty, from where he kicked the ball, that's where the scrum was going to be. So where the ball landed was where the penalty kick was going to be, and he was never going to kick from there.
And as it was the penalty, Wales have possession from the line out, and Bradley Davis, who is having a sterling game in the middle.
He's playing extremely well, Bradley Davis. Done his mum proud.
Now the charge comes on.
Penalty Wales.
They want more, and so does 70-odd thousand packed into the Millennium Stadium. It's just beginning to crackle a little bit on a Friday evening in Cardiff.
That's it, penalty kick it.
Still over a quarter of the match to go.
I think they're going for the corner.
What a game Bradley Davis is having, though. Somewhere on that shirt is stitched in loving memory of Mam Cheryl Davis, 1964 to 2010. And if that doesn't inspire you, very little will.
Amazing, but what a mistake. I think he's had a sterling game. But what a mistake by Lee Byrne. He's kicked the ball dead from the penalty. You cannot afford to make mistakes like that. Momentum, the change of momentum could be massive.
moment that might be. Wales have now got to rebuild again from deep. Aaron Ordeke goes high. Is there anyone better in the world at the moment at that job?
He's such an athlete. A bit gobby when he came on the scene first of all, which the English back row rammed it down his throat, I remember, but I think he's matured.
Don't think he likes the English that much. Not in an exclusive club, I suspect. Here goes Lee Byrne trying to right the wrong. There goes Aaron Ordeke again. On that occasion it wasn't perfect, but he did well to hang on to it. Poitrenaud.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Parrott. Oh, well. What about that from Charteris? Just as Parrott was preparing to clear his lines, he was flat on his face.
Let's do something.
There we are. Trinduk put pressure on him.
Wait here.
What are they doing, the French?
Just starting to look a little bit ragged.
Yes. It'll be interesting to see when Warburton and Mike Phillips make an appearance. Just need a little bit of impact.
There is Poitrenaud.
Forward pass.
Lateral, according to Jonathan Kaplan. This is Malzieu. That one was knocked on though, and that rescues the French. But, well, what about this kick? They were pressing, the crowd was on its feet. Here was the opportunity to deliver the ball into touch and to drive the line out.
I don't see why he's got to go for the corner flag, purely because the line out will take place 5 meters out anyway, so just kick it to the 5 meter line. You know, and when you sat there, right, you cannot do anything about it.
Well, statistics telling their own story. The significant one, though, is that one to the top left and the 6 points that Wales have nibbled into during the first 20 minutes.
Which is the most important stat, actually.
Sean Edwards, look at the bottom of your screen there. Sean Edwards has his latest novel in his left hand. He sometimes gets so wound up, he tells us, that he dips back into his book. I don't think this is a match he's been able to take his eyes off so far. I wonder what Sean Edwards is reading at the moment. Stephen Jones to Halfpenny. This might work for Wales. Halfpenny almost away from Poitrenaud.
And you go straight now. Let's not shovel it on.
Hook and Roberts combining. Rees. Jones holds it up himself.
And they got to go left. They got to go left now because the hooker is there.
Well, they go right to Roberts. Again, the defence up so quickly. It was up too high on that occasion, and Richie Rees has taken the opportunity to inject some pace here. Lee Byrne. Ball was knocked on.
Nice play on. Wasn't knocked on, so the referee says.
Wales breathe again. Hugh Bennett. Halfpenny pitches it back. Try for Wales. Surely not another comeback. Surely not. But they're on their way. And Halfpenny has Wales' first try of the match. And there is belief back in this stadium.
Knocked again.
Dicey Gamreen, try for Wales. Number 14.
Great speed by Halfpenny, but the pass, just watch, takes it in. Look, they've been sucked in for the first time. Good hands, lovely pass by Shane Williams. Run onto that Halfpenny, gets to the corner. Not again.
His second try against Scotland with 3.5 minutes left had the foundations here shaking. And if this kick goes over from Stephen Jones, the girders will start to bend, because if this goes over, Wales will be within a converted try of being level. I swear I do not believe this game sometimes. It's on its way, it's between the posts, and the girders are shaking, and Wales are breathing.
Game Once again. Why do they do it?
Cross-yarding conversion for Wales. Number 10, Stephen Jones. It's Wales 13.
There's the money ball. Gets on the outside of Malzio. Great try, great conversion.
Julien Pierre.
Wales 13, France 20. And they've started the fight back early. Normally they leave it to the last 3.5, 4 minutes.
Well,
And here comes Freddie Michalak on for the French.
Sindhu. Well, that's a surprise because I feel that Michalak is not the best at controlling a game, so this could get very, very loose. Put pressure on Michalak.
What's more, in the middle of that maelstrom, Morgan Parra was yellow carded. So the French are down to 14 players and their lead is now just 7 points.
Great kick.
Wales are roaring, and here goes Shane Williams chasing down the new man Michalak.
Here he goes.
Oh, what are France doing? What are they doing at the moment? You can see what Wales are doing. And so can the 72,500 here. What can you say about Wales? Josion clears and then looks around as if to say, have we lost our heads?
The biggest thing has been the territory. They've played the game in the right areas, Wales.
Rees, Jones, Charteris, Martin Williams, Shane Williams outside, Lee Byrne running onto it. If Byrne gathers, Wales will score, but Poitrenaud does. And in the middle of the storm, Poitrenaud is trying to keep his cultured French head.
Well, the crowd now have certainly found their voices. France have lost their composure for the first time. The pressure is on, and there is Parra Sinbin.
If you're wondering why he's been Sinbin, so are we, to be honest. It happened in the build-up to that Welsh try.
Yeah, knowing most scrum halves, there'll be chops in. I think Austin is signalling something to me.
Yeah, well, if you have a look here, actually, we can see why he got sin-binned. The try came for Wales due to the breakdown, the quick tap penalty. For the first time, Wales have upped the tempo of the game with a quick tap penalty. Off they went. We saw the French defenders backing off for the first time. First time in the match means that they can no longer blitz in defence, which opens up the space out wide. If you have a look at Parra, he slaps the ball down there. That's where he gets sin-binned from, a deliberate knockdown. The referee tells him. France have then got 12 defenders in that area. You can see Shane Williams is out wide, he's seeing the space, and that is where the try is created.
That's, again, you know, it's taking second defenders in, they all congregate towards the ball, and then the space is out left. That's very good refereeing, though, by Kaplan, because that was way back in the movement.
Hymns and arias reverberating around the Millennium Stadium. 15 minutes to go. Wales 20 points down at half-time. And now within 7. And the French are ragged. And I'm not sure if he's the man to repair a team who are ragged. Oh, mate, Freddie.
He wouldn't be my cup of tea, to be honest, to keep control.
He's a bit of a wandering minstrel, that man. Can't have too many chances left because Coach Marc Livremont has voiced his concerns about whether that man can control games. He's got a melting pot to try and control here.
Well, they've got to keep the ball now. Make advantage of the extra man. They've got the French boys on the wrong side here. There's Martin Williams with the ball. There he is on the ground. Nale all over him.
Rees, who's still on as Mike Phillips watches on from the bench. James Hook, who again beats the first tackler. Oh, they've lost the ball though.
Oh, there he is.
You'll have noticed that Sebastian Chabal is on.
Overlap here again.
Chabal coming on for Julien Pierre a few moments ago.
Advantage is over. Wait there.
Michalak.
Roll
at
here.
scrum half.
Out.
Morgan Parra watching from the sin bin.
Good take, Halfpenny.
No hands.
Penalty to Wales. Drive the ball back deep into French territory and try and launch another attack from the line out as Chabal argues the toss.
Lee Byrne.
Oh, again, for the second time.
He cannot do that. I tell you, that is a terrible, terrible kick again. You've just got to find touch. You're going to get the line out in an attacking position. He's going for distance. After his last kick, he's got to just find touch. He knows that. He'll be disappointed, you know, with himself.
Brewster Jones. Jones, interesting. Roberts gathers. Hook in support. The stadium rises. Martin Williams was there as well. And what was going through Jamie Roberts' mind? You have to think if he'd have given the ball to James Hook, Wales would have had a try under the post and they might have been level.
Well, this could be interesting. Adam Jones is back there with Ryan Jones.
Ryan Jones'
calf
is standing up to the rigours of this sensational game. Another sensational game in Wales. Rees to Jones. Roberts again. Tucks the ball under his arm. Muscles through the French defence. Forwards drive over the ball to present it for Williams, who throws it straight into touch.
Well, should Jamie Roberts have given it to James Hook? Just watch. Great kick. The kicking game has undone the French. This is it. He's got to give it there. He's got to give it. He was the man in the best position. He had to give it to James Hook. Although he was covered, maybe by Palisson. Go to ground, recycle, then go wide.
Wales women will be playing the French women on Sunday at the Brewery Field Bridgend. Kick-off is at 2 p.m. Tickets are only £5, so go along and support the Welsh women. Another exciting
I'm sure
match,
just like us, you're
rugby.
using this little break in play to get your breath back. Little confirmation of the comings and goings, and there have been one or two. Morgan Parra off perhaps temporarily, perhaps his match is wrong though. Michalak is on. The old grizzly Chabal is on to try and get a grip on this match that Wales had at half-time. 20-0 they led, if you're just joining us. We were half-heartedly saying we're going to get another Scotland in the second half. Well, the joke's on France at the moment.
Yeah, they've got to keep hold of the ball now. That's what they've got to do.
More changes.
And Emmanuel Arino-Doki.
Alexandre Lapendry is on for his Six Nations debut, the man from Clermont-Auvergne, just 20, and they've lost a lot of experience with Aaron Audicke going off. And they've also taken Bastareaud off, and David Marty, chunky oak barrel of a back, has made his way onto the pitch. He's not as chunky or as big as Bastareaud. And with a little over 10 minutes to go, Michalak will fire the French into Welsh territory.
Well, last 10.
Mike Phillips waits and wonders, like lots of us. Tom Shanklin alongside him as well. It's a risk. He's not played much, Phillips, but he might
Well,
add that little bit of something that Wales need in the final 10 minutes of this game.
Bonaire again, and just to take the sting out of this penalty, that's what they wanted. Michalak will step up to try and get that 10-point advantage.
Michalak wondering what the plan is, and it's signalled by Dusatoir. It's get 3 points for us, Fred. And how the French need this. It's a fair distance. Clearly with the roof shut, doesn't have the elements to worry about. Just the demons that will be swirling around that mind. Not everyone's cup of coffee back in France, but he'll be a national hero if this goes over, because it'll take the French more than a score clear.
I think he's got it.
To perhaps douse the flame in the Dragon's breath. We will see. The French have restored a 10-point gap, and they're about to be restored to a full complement as well, because Paris preparing to come back on.
And maybe that's why Livremont put Michalak on. It didn't have a goal kicker. If the opportunity arose to bang the penalty over, so you have to congratulate the French coach.
It's about composure, isn't it? Keeping your heads. There was a sign that the French players, had lost their heads for a unbelievable 10-minute period, but they just look as if they've regained a little bit of that balance now as Josian clears the touch.
Just stopped playing, Nick. That's what it was. Kept the ball away from Wales. Kept the ball away from them. They played in the right areas. Maybe they'd switched off. Now they're back on. Para is coming back on, and the French are singing.
At this point 2 weeks ago, Wales were much further adrift. But the French have had their warning, and I suspect they won't end the match with 13 players on the pitch like Scotland did. But let's wait and see.
Again.
Not straight. You're being critical, Jonathan. Then there have just been too many instances in the last 20 minutes where Wales have had opportunities and they've made silly mistakes.
Yes, that's right.
Kicks directly into touch. Balls thrown into touch. Line-outs not straight. All
Errors.
adding up to 21 so far.
21 errors. Just can't afford to do that against this side.
Bonaire, Michalak, Malzieu runs after it. Byrne is there. Malzieu got his hands to it first, but he knocked on. And the Welsh will have a scrum, a little wry smile on the face of the giant-sized Malzieu.
Returning to the field, number 9, Morgan Para.
And all of a sudden, the French are back up to 15.
Full complement. And a bit of a difference from previous RBS Six Nations matches is that the French scored 3 points when he was off. It's been the other way. The previous encounters.
And now the French have a free kick. Wales going in a little too eagerly in the front row. Adam Jones wanders away disconsolately. Testament to Adam Jones' fitness, though. More and more he's playing the full 80 minutes. The days of being substituted after half an hour by Steve Hansen are well behind him. He puts in a full shift at the coalface these days, and looks like he's going to do it again today. Not a bad Welsh scrum. Jonathan Thomas hacking his way through. But the ball is the French. And there's a little over 5 minutes to go. And have we had our drama for the evening, or is there more to come again right at the end? Zarzewski.
Roll 2!
Well, they fancied the drop goal in previous games.
Michalak back inside to Josian.
Yeah, they'll work the midfield. He's back in the pocket, Michalak. There we go. He's a bit far out for...
He's almost on halfway, but he's going to give it a blast. It's in his nature, and it hits the post.
Wait here, wait!
A boomer from Byrne.
Great kick.
And Wales will now try and make a nuisance of this French line out after Michalak went for broke and just fell short.
Yeah. You feel it back in control now.
Hold there.
Okay.
Charteris.
No hands! No hands!
There we are.
Williams to Charteris.
Just watch him again. One man contesting.
Nallet making a real nuisance of himself, and the French with Lepondre back to Malzieu.
And they'll just slow this down now. Just watch. They need quick ball to go wide. They've got to go wide.
One more French try would surely end the debate, but it's not coming yet. It's a penalty though to France.
And that is it, really. That is the final nail. All offside, shot out of the blocks very, very quickly.
Well, the kicker has a minute from the point that the penalty is awarded to actually executing the kick, and you can't blame the French for taking that full 60 seconds. This would leave Wales needing 2 converted tries to win the match, and when did that last happen? Parra with the penalty, and over the last 5 minutes the French look like they've done just enough to escape from the cauldron. They now lead by 13 points, and we've got a little over 2 minutes left.
Just the ball.
RBS man of the match time shortly.
There he goes. Oh.
As Palisson clears from touch. Who would have thought when he scored the opening try after 6 minutes that we would have had the drama we've all enjoyed here. It looks like it's going to be France, but hang on, because here goes Lee Byrne over the 10-metre line. Rees to Stephen Jones. They've got lots of men over on that right-hand side. Halfpenny on a little burst. Quick ball. Still perhaps possibility. Bradley Davis, who has run his socks off for Wales this evening.
Yeah, it's been immense.
Run his socks off in memory of his mum, but it looks like it's going to be
knock on.
Defeat for Wales now. The ball was knocked on, but here goes Shane Williams. Is there yet life? Shane Williams is in! Magical from Williams on his 33rd birthday, his 50th world try, and he goes beyond the great Gareth Edwards. What a moment! And is there still time for one more great moment?
What a player, what a try. You can only stand up and applaud that finish.
Edwards, his championship record for Wales. Shane Williams!
It's the kind of ability that Toulon, we hear, are prepared to pay £1 million for. We need the conversion, Wales. Oh, and the posts are smiling on Stephen Jones.
It cannot happen again. Watch this finish. Bang, para, good night. And then the full back to beat. No, it's not, it's Palason. Amazing.
Now then, what will Michalak do here? Time is up. If he kicks it straight into play, the match out of touch, the match is over. And Scotland will be watching somewhere thinking if we'd have done the same, it would have been a different story. But what a match, what a finish.
Well, I've got to pick my RBS man of the match, and for me, Bradley Davis was immense. So was Nicholas Mass. But my man of the match tonight has got to be the France number 7 RBS man of the match. Is Julian Bonnet is the RBS man of the match. Fantastic today. The line out was immense. His work rate about the park. But Wales once again too late. First half performance was poor. You cannot beat sides by only playing for 40 minutes.
Well, this play should come with a public health warning. 20 points down at half-time. Halfpenny got them going. Shane Williams suggested the impossible, but they came up agonisingly short.